Hi everybody! In today's video I am going to be recreating an older drawing that I created back in 2009. So I was only 13 years old at the time. I think the idea of the drawing was kind of like a horse cantering through the galaxy. That's not really what it looks like. But it's been a drawing that I've kind of been coming back to and looking at because I had this idea in my head, but at the time I didn't have the skill set at all to be able to create what I was actually thinking about. I was really interested in seeing what kind of skill set I have earned since then and what I have learned since then and what I could change up. So let's get to it. The original painting was created using acrylics, but I don't think I really achieved the effect that I wanted back then using acrylics, and also there is some color things that isn't really matching up. The colors are getting kind of muddy. So instead I decided to create this sort of rainbow-esque galaxy setting because I think that would go really nice, and I think that was what I was imagining back then. So to create this I decided to use watercolors instead, as they are very easy to create these swirly galaxy looks with. To create this look I used a wet in wet technique, and then to add some texture to it I used a spray bottle with water on top. And then I'm just going in with my second coat. I wanted the colors to be a bit more bright and have a bit more contrast in it, as they tend to dry kind of flat looking. So something that I didn't really think through at this point was the fact that I wanted the horse to be placed in the center like the old drawing, but facing the other way. And I still wanted to keep the horse all white, maybe with a tad of blue. And I have placed a very bright yellow right in the center. And when I was painting this, I was like, oh, this is a gorgeous yellow. It's so bright and vibrant. But white isn't really going to stand out against it. So maybe if I go back in 10 years and recreate this painting, I would change that. And maybe I should have tested out the techniques I wanted to use in this drawing on a scrap piece of paper, because I thought I'll just go in with my white luminance pencil because it's so white and bright. Yeah, it's not really. It didn't work. It wasn't as bright as I wanted it to. And then I changed over to using gouache instead. But gouache doesn't really stick on top of a wax-based pencil. Yeah. So in my frustration and wondering whether or not I should restart this painting at all, I went in and added some details with colored pencils in the background so it looked a bit more like a galaxy. Now at this point I decided I've already used the white colored pencil on some part of the horse and I know it's going to be a problem there. So I want it to be an equal problem. So I decided to outline the entire horse as I wanted to from the beginning with the luminance white pencil. And it works really great over the darker areas of watercolors, but see, it's the bright yellow area that's really the problem. And I also continued using my colored pencil on top of the watercolor to reinforce the galaxy structures and the colors, and adding finer details that I feel can be hard to achieve with watercolor itself, mostly for me because I don't know how to use watercolors. But I think it's a nice touch and it just adds that final detail and that sort of cloudiness that I like. At this point, I was getting really frustrated and insecure about how I was going to work around this, so I left it for the night and worked on something else, which is something I always do when I get a bit frustrated, because getting some distance can sometimes make you see it with fresh eyes. And the next day I came back and decided to try and make it work with gouache. I really wanted the horse to have this sort of ghost-like, kind of foggy, spirit-esque look to it, and I had it all planned out in my head on how to do it with color pencil, and I wasn't really sure how to do that with gouache, but I decided to mix my first couple of layers with a very light blue, and then just make very thin layers and slowly build up the color. And I think that actually worked quite well. It ended up getting somewhat the amount of contrast I wanted. Not fully, but I blame that on the yellow. In the old drawing, I had tried to create this sort of mist around the hooves of the horse, and I decided that I really wanted to keep this and I liked the look of it, and instead of using a silver paint as I did back then, I used various thickness of gouache. For the horse this time around, I actually used a reference photo, and I decided I wanted the horse to have a bit more power and a little more oomph. And I also decided to turn it the other way around, as I felt that just worked better in my sketches beforehand. I sketched the horse on a separate piece of paper and then I transferred it with a light box. This gives it a lot more of a clean look, as I don't have to sketch on my actual painting. To add the stars, I used some thin down gouache and then a bristled paintbrush. And then to add some individual stars in more clusters or specific places, I used my Molotov paint pen. Overall, I actually really liked the remake of the old drawing. I think I captured something I was trying to capture back then but just wasn't able to. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I would have changed the yellow if I could go back, but I really like the sort of rainbow look as well. Let me know your opinion down below. Do you prefer the new drawing or the old drawing? Thank you so much for checking out today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, I'll leave some more videos for you to check out somewhere here, and you can subscribe as well to see all my new videos.